Melbourne's Westgate Tunnel will cost almost double its original budget after another multi-billion-dollar blowout.
2 tunnels, 2 mega projects, one city on the brink of a transport revolution.
So this tunnel is really providing that vital link that people need for the future.
Melbourne's spending over $25 billion to dig beneath its streets. One tunnel for trains, one for trucks and cars. But will they truly fix the chaos or create new problems? This is Melbourne's biggest gamble under the city. Right now, beneath Melbourne's bustling streets, something extraordinary is happening. 2 massive tunnels, each a feat of engineering that would make ancient civilizations weep, are about to reshape how 5 million people move through Australia's fastest-growing city. We're talking about over $25 billion, all buried underground in Melbourne. But there's something more interesting about that. These aren't just any tunnels. One's designed to carry 500,000 extra passengers every single week. The other? It's engineered to swallow 9,000 trucks daily. Trucks that currently thunder through quiet suburban streets, turning family neighborhoods into industrial highways. Both projects are racing toward the same impossible deadline, the end of 2025. And if they succeed, Melbourne will never be the same again. But the real question is, will they actually deliver? While you watch the trams crawl along Swanston Street, something massive is happening 27 meters underground. The Metro Tunnel is more than just a hole in the ground. It's Melbourne's new underground spine. 9 kilometers of twin tunnels that will create capacity for more than 500,000 additional passengers per week during peak periods. That's like moving the entire population of Tasmania through these tunnels every 7 days. During peak periods alone, it'll accommodate more than 500,000 additional weekly trips across Melbourne's train network. There are 5 new underground stations being carved out beneath Melbourne's busiest streets. Arden Station's turning North Melbourne from an industrial wasteland into a buzzing urban hub. Parkville Station finally gives direct trains to the city's hospitals and universities. State Library Station connects the library, RMIT, Queen Victoria Market, and links with Melbourne Central. Town Hall Station sits in the Arts District, linking Federation Square, the Arts Centre, and South Bank. And Anzac Station is Melbourne's first tram train interchange on St Kilda Road, serving the Shrine, the Botanic Gardens, and the city's busiest offices. The project kicked off in 2015, with tunneling starting in 2019 and finishing in 2021. But from there, things get complicated. Originally expected to be completed in 2026, the Metro Tunnel is planned to open in 2025, a full year ahead of schedule. Major construction was completed first at Arden Station in January 2024, followed by Parkville Station in May and Anzac Station in September. Yet the 2 CBD stations, State Library and Town Hall, are proving to be the most complex engineering challenges Melbourne has ever attempted. These stations are being built beneath some of the city's busiest intersections, while keeping traffic, trams, and pedestrians moving above. Due to shortages of key workers, major construction was delayed from the original June 2024 completion. The project often gets compared to London's Elizabeth Line, and for good reason. Both represent the same fundamental insight, that 21st century cities need 21st century infrastructure. But Melbourne's Metro Tunnel goes beyond simply moving people. It's about creating high-capacity signaling that works like adaptive cruise control for trains, tracking location and speed in real time to prevent the cascade delays that currently ripple through Melbourne's network every peak hour. This isn't just about bigger trains or faster speeds, it's about precision and intelligence. The system will allow for turn-up-and-go services during peak times, where passengers won't need to check timetables. They'll simply show up and catch the next train, knowing another will arrive within minutes. The project carries an estimated cost of $13.48 billion, making it the largest investment in Melbourne's CBD rail capacity since the City Loop was completed 40 years ago. But money is not a problem when everyone's worried about whether Melbourne's aging infrastructure can handle this quantum leap into the future. Now, if the Metro Tunnel's about precision, the Westgate Tunnel is pure chaos theory in action. This 4-kilometer road tunnel started life as what seemed like a simple idea: link the Westgate Freeway at Yarraville with the Port of Melbourne and CityLink at Docklands. But nothing about this project has been simple. More than 200,000 vehicles use the Westgate Bridge every single day. When there's an accident, and there always is, half of Melbourne's west grinds to a halt. Trucks carrying everything from fresh produce to fuel sit idle in residential streets. Diesel engines rumbling outside schools and parks. So the Westgate Tunnel promises to remove 9,000 trucks per day from residential streets. That's equivalent to removing a truck every 10 seconds during peak hours from roads where children walk to school and families try to live normal lives. The tunnel promises to cut travel times by up to 20 minutes between Melbourne's west and the city. 20 minutes might not sound revolutionary until you realize that for hundreds of thousands of people, this represents the difference between spending 2 hours a day commuting versus 90 minutes. That's 2.5 hours per week returned to families. Time for dinner together, time to coach kids' sports, time to actually live instead of just survive the daily grind. And to achieve that, they've applied incredible engineering. 4 kilometers of twin tunnels beneath Yarraville. Vehicles will dive underground from the Westgate Freeway near Williamstown Road, travel beneath an entire suburb, then emerge near Whitehall Street in Yarraville before ascending to a new bridge over the Maribyrnong River. This bridge is Melbourne's first new major river crossing in decades, connecting to an elevated road above Footscray Road that will provide direct access to Swanson Dock at the Port of Melbourne, CityLink, and the CBD via Docklands. The project also includes a new link between the Westgate Freeway and Hyde Street. This direct connection allows trucks carrying dangerous loads, fuel, chemicals, hazardous materials, to access the freeway network without using local streets. No more fuel tankers rumbling past primary schools. No more chemical trucks navigating residential intersections. Construction began with 2 tunnel boring machines nicknamed Vita and Bella, each one a 400-ton engineering marvel capable of boring through rock and soil while simultaneously installing the tunnel's concrete lining. These machines operated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, reaching depths of up to 27 meters below ground. Now, originally estimated at $6.3 billion, the project's ballooned to approximately $12 billion, nearly double the original cost. The final overrun could be higher, with some sources claiming it could reach $3.3 billion in overruns alone. What went wrong? Everything that could go wrong did. Difficulties in securing soil disposal sites, lags in approvals, preparatory works, and disputes over contaminated tunnel spoil turned what should have been a straightforward engineering project into a multi-billion-dollar nightmare. The state government eventually reached a deal in December 2021 that would see Transurban contribute an extra $2.2 billion toward costs, while CPB John Holland gave up all profit margins, costing Victorian taxpayers an extra $1.9 billion and delaying completion into 2025. The twist in this story of bureaucratic chaos is that tunneling is now complete. The twin tunnel boring machines, nicknamed Vita and Bella, have carved their way through 4 kilometers of Melbourne's underground, creating twin tunnels that will carry 3 lanes of traffic each. These 2 projects couldn't represent more different philosophies of urban development, yet they're both essential pieces of Melbourne's transportation puzzle. The Metro Tunnel represents the Melbourne that progressives dream of: high-capacity signaling, sustainable transport, and urban density that supports walkable neighborhoods and reduces car dependence. It's about moving people efficiently through electric trains that can carry thousands of passengers with the environmental footprint of a few dozen cars. This is public transport as civic infrastructure, something that serves everyone regardless of their economic status. A student traveling from Sunbury to university, a hospital worker commuting to Parkville, a tourist exploring Melbourne's cultural precinct, they all benefit equally from this investment. The Westgate Tunnel, on the other hand, acknowledges the Melbourne that exists today. A sprawling city where freight must move, where families rely on cars, and where pragmatic solutions sometimes trump idealistic visions. It'll enable truck bans on 6 roads and take over 9,000 trucks off local streets, returning suburban streets to families instead of freight companies. But both projects share one key element. They're betting that Melbourne's future lies underground. The Metro Tunnel is using high-capacity signaling, like adaptive cruise control for trains, tracking location and speed in real time. This is about creating a network so intelligent it can prevent the cascade delays that currently ripple through Melbourne's rail system every peak hour. Meanwhile, the Westgate Tunnel's pioneering the first Australian tunnel constructed with an elevated road surface, providing another tunnel underneath for maintenance, ventilation, and emergency access. This is a subterranean highway system designed to function for the next century. But even the best-laid plans face brutal reality checks. The metro tunnel faces a more complex reality than its ambitious timeline suggests. While the government maintains the tunnel will open by the end of 2025, recent reports reveal this will be a limited soft opening with only off-peak services initially using the new underground route. Peak hour trains, the very services that need the capacity most, will continue running through the aging city loop until early 2026. Remaining risks include electromagnetic interference that could affect medical and scientific equipment near stations. Imagine trying to perform brain surgery while trains thunder past 30 meters below. The University of Melbourne and the Victorian Comprehensive Cancer Centre have raised serious concerns about vibration and electromagnetic effects on their sensitive equipment. The Westgate Tunnel's challenges have been even more dramatic. Critics describe the environmental effects statement as fundamentally flawed and not an EES, but rather a sales brochure. The City of Melbourne's analysis found the project could result in peak hour-like traffic conditions for 12 to 14 hours daily on 4 roads in North Melbourne. The project was announced prematurely, before it had regulatory or financial approvals, and represents exactly the kind of market-led proposal that experts warn governments to avoid like the plague. Yet both projects are pushing forward, driven by the simple reality that doing nothing isn't an option. It would have meant watching the city's transportation system collapse under the weight of its own success. And as construction crews put the finishing touches on these massive projects, Melbourne stands on the brink of something unprecedented in Australian urban development. 2 tunnels that'll reshape the daily lives of millions, built simultaneously, both racing toward the same impossible deadline. By the end of 2025, we'll know whether Melbourne's $25 billion bet paid off, whether the vision of seamless underground transportation becomes reality, or whether the city that prides itself on being the world's most livable discovers that being livable at scale requires more than just good intentions and deep pockets. After billions spent and years of construction, will Melbourne's twin megatunnels truly deliver what was promised? The answer lies just beneath our feet, waiting to reshape one of the world's fastest growing cities. But for now, keep an eye on Visionary, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when it's all set. Until next time,